Hey everyone, this is Cullah from Destination Thrills, and I am here with my thoughts on what Kings Island will be installing in 2020. Yes, I know we have just kicked off the 2019 theme park season, but Kings Island 2020 rumors have been running wild since the announcement of Firehawk's closure in 2018. There were also leaked documents showing that Kings Island is contracted to work with the infamous manufacturer B&M through 2020. Now, many ideas have been thrown out there, including the coaster enthusiast dream Giga Coaster model. I've decided to join in on the fun and present my ideas for what Kings Island might add in 2020. Again, this is pure speculation. None of these theories have been confirmed. Now, I am going off the assumption that the documents confirming B&M will be the manufacturer for this new ride in 2020 are true. So I will only be looking at potential B&M coaster models. If new information is released which shows otherwise, I will make an updated video. So let's first take a look at the B&M coasters that Kings Island currently has. Right now they have Banshee, a B&M inverted model, and Diamondback, a B&M hyper model. So we can eliminate these two models from the list. Now let's take a look at the B&M models that they likely won't get. First is the stand-up coaster model. New stand-up coasters have not been purchased by parks in quite some time, plus many existing B&M stand-up coasters are being converted into floorless models. So we can practically eliminate this model from contention. The second unlikely choice is a floorless sit-down model. Since the development of the wing coaster, B&M floorless models seem to be a thing of the past. And currently, B&M floorless models just don't have the draw that they used to. So, if you are going to spend the money to build a B&M coaster, you might as well build one with more draw. So I think it is highly unlikely that Kings Island goes with the floorless model. So this leaves us with the following B&M coaster models: the dive coaster, flying coaster, wing coaster, and yes, the Giga Coaster. First, let's look at the dive coaster model. One reason Kings Island could get a dive coaster is the fact that Cedar Fair has bought two in the past few years. There is Valravn at Cedar Point, added in 2016, and Yukon Striker at Canada's Wonderland that will open later this year. So it wouldn't be a complete surprise if Kings Island is the location of the next B&M dive coaster in the chain. This would be a great fit in Kings Island's lineup, and they could build it slightly higher than Diamondback and market it as the park's tallest coaster. Now, one reason Kings Island wouldn't get a dive coaster is that Valravn was built in 2016 at Sister Park Cedar Point, which is in the same state as Kings Island. It seems like it would be less of a draw if Cedar Fair invested in a dive coaster at Kings Island soon after Cedar Point added one. Now let's move to the next option, which is a wing coaster. This would be a unique coaster in Kings Island's lineup. This is a newer and more popular model that B&M developed, and it would not be a surprise if Kings Island tries to build a record-breaking wing coaster. Now, you might be thinking, if Cedar Fair would avoid the dive coaster model because of Valravn at Cedar Point, why would they go for a wing coaster when Cedar Point has Gatekeeper? My thinking is that Gatekeeper was added back in 2013, so it would not take away much from Cedar Point if Kings Island adds a bigger wing coaster. Now, with that being said, I know there are several wing coasters in this immediate region. Besides Gatekeeper, there is Thunderbird at Holiday World, Wild Eagle at Dollywood, and X-Flight at Six Flags Great America, which are all within a 6-hour drive from Kings Island. So if Kings Island were looking to add a major attraction to draw people in from that region, they may want to add something different. Now let's look at the flying coaster option. This one intrigues me the most because we believe the 2020 roller coaster will replace Firehawk, which was a flying style coaster built by Vekoma. Many consider the B&M flying coaster model to be far superior than the Vekoma Flying Dutchman model. If Kings Island marketed this ride as a reborn Firehawk, I could see a big draw for this attraction. This is also one coaster model that neighboring Cedar Point doesn't have. Now, although Cedar Point not having a flying coaster may be a reason why Kings Island would add one, it also might work against them. See, Cedar Point is expected to build another record-breaking coaster for their 150th anniversary in 2020, And a record-breaking flying coaster is something that Cedar Point could easily obtain. If Cedar Point were to do this, it would make no sense to add the same coaster type down the road at Kings Island. So now let's talk about the model that everyone wants. The model that every Kings Island fanboy has been crying and begging for in the last several years. A B&M Giga Coaster. First, let's talk about why it could be a Giga. 1. The land that Kings Island is working with is big enough for a Giga Coaster. This part is huge. They took out Firehawk and Dinosaurs Alive, so there's tons of room to work with in that area of the park. Second, Kings Island has said themselves that they want to add a Giga to their park, so we know this coaster type has been on their radar. Finally, it would be a fantastic draw in this region and could really boost attendance. Now, let's see why it wouldn't be a Giga Coaster. Cedar Fair in their recent stockholder call mentioned that they would be focusing more on immersive experiences rather than the large investments. If this is true, then it would seem unlikely that Kings Island would build a $30 million Giga Coaster in 2020. We also know that recent investments such as Banshee and Mystic Timbers did not result in large attendance boosts. So it would seem that a Giga Coaster would be a huge risk for Kings Island. With that being said, I do think out of the 4 likely B&M models, Kings Island gets the Giga Coaster. Yes, it is a risky investment, but having the tallest Giga Coaster would certainly draw in people in this region and beyond, especially if Kings Island looks to go taller than Fury 325 at Carowinds. It would be great if it had a fast, low-to-the-ground layout mixed with some ejector air, and theming it to Son of Beast Reborn would be the icing on the cake. Now, if the B&M rumors turn out to be false, it would be pretty amazing to see a Mack multi-launch installed. Something similar to Copperhead Strike would be a great addition to Kings Island, but for right now, we're going to focus on these rumors being true that B&M is working with Kings Island. So, what do you think is coming to Kings Island in 2020? Add your ideas to the comment section below, and as always, if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to see more theme park content. I'm Cullahale Benz. Have a good one, guys.